Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Leah and I'm a collage artist. Today we're going to do what I'm calling a mini collaboration with Andrew from Reissued. This is a channel that I really love to watch on YouTube, and after my collaboration with Rosie went so well, I reached out to him asking if he wanted to do a collaboration. He's currently doing a huge home renovation and it's been really inspiring to watch all his crazy DIYs. Along with that, he's also decorating his home, so he's been doing a lot of DIY art projects and mixed media pieces that I think you guys would really enjoy. Rather than starting from blank canvas, he always buys pieces and then repurposes them, and I found this really inspiring. Since us collage artists always start without a blank canvas realistically, we always start with magazines or pieces of paper that we're really inspired by, I thought that this was an interesting theme to try for myself. He asked if I wanted to have a call and immediately said he wanted to do one this week because he was actually really inspired by the pieces that I was making and he had a good idea for it. I was like, oh my gosh. I knew the turnaround was super fast with only 1 week, but I took the challenge and I know it's gonna go really well. I don't have any large pieces here that I want to redo right now, so I'm gonna head to the thrift store and try to find something there that will inspire me. So the clock is ticking and we gotta get started on this, so I'm gonna head to the thrift store now and let's see what we can find. Well, that was an adventure at the thrift store, but I'm so glad we found something. Let's take a closer look at it at home. Okay, so I think this helps in terms of scale. This piece is pretty big. I'm guessing it's probably like 2 feet by 2 feet on the inside part? I can't actually tell if it's a perfect square or not. I don't think so. I think it's slightly bigger, but it's a lovely piece, and I've actually seen this photo a lot, so it's not the first time I'm seeing it. The frame is quite banged up, so we're definitely gonna have to do a little bit of repair on that. I really love the colors of this. I think that they're perfect for what I was kind of envisioning for this. So with this piece, it's so calm and loving that I just felt like it really needed some chaos. And you know me with my juxtapositions, I really wanted to do something that was very different than what I have here. I really wanted to portray like innocence versus war. As soon as I saw this, I kind of thought of like Angels of War would be like a really cool name if I could like incorporate all of these like war images within this like beautiful peaceful moment. The only issue with this frame is that it is kind of beat up. So first off, there's a number on it, so we're gonna have to get rid of that. And then there is a big scrape on the top of it, which has like the gold paint scraped away. I do have gold leaf. I'm wondering if I could try to cover it up with that, but I do think it is a different color of gold here. So I might just have to repaint the whole frame, but that's something I will have to figure out in the next couple of days. Other than that, it's a very high quality frame. It's got a nice thick glass to it, and it was only $24 for something this big. I think it's pretty reasonable. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what we do with it. After all that cleaning, we're now back in the studio. This is a pile that I put aside like maybe over a year ago that I really wanted to make an army piece, and when I saw the angel, I just knew that the two of them could make a really cool piece together. The juxtaposition of love and war has always been a strong one, and I think it's working really well here. I wanted to do a quick flip through of everything and refresh my memory of what I had already, and then go back and cut out some of the pieces that I really thought had good potential for this. I decided to just have a ton of options, so I just sat down and cut out for hours and hours. Working on a large canvas made it really hard to pick which photos were going to work and which ones wouldn't. When I'm working on a smaller scale, I kind of know which pieces can work with which ones and what size that we're going for, but when it's so large, the possibilities are endless. There was one paper that already had a lot of slashes in it, so I put a piece of Scotch tape on the back, as you can see here, and that was able to fix my problem of the plane falling apart. This advertisement was very creepy and confusing to me, but I just figured that it had really good pictures, so we're gonna use it anyways. When I first started working on this piece, I thought that parachutes would be the perfect thing for the sky, and these people have the exact coloring of the sky as well and the right tone, so I was really excited to see this page. Because I blocked out basically an entire afternoon to just cut out some of these pieces, I made sure to take my time and use a scalpel for a lot of it. As many of you may have noticed, I'm really good with scissors, but scalpel is still something I want to get better at, so I took my time and wanted to practice on that all day long. It was definitely harder to do and it took way more time, but by the end I felt like I was getting up really fast, so that was really cool to see. Oh hi friends, were you aware that I have a shop where I sell my art prints? It's called Flanzella.com. It's linked in the description if you want to go check it out. I'd really love it if you did, and all the support is really helpful for my career. I really appreciate it, and let's get back to the video. After I cut out all the pieces that I had put to the side, I realized that there were some things that I was still missing, so I went back and looked in some piles of magazines to see if there's anything that would be of interest to me. And I grabbed so much stuff, so I'm really worried that I have so much material, and this piece is only so big, so I'm going to see what I can fit into here and try to make what makes the most sense. Okay, so we're out of the studio today and into my dining room because this piece is so big I just didn't know how it was going to fit on my desk. Let's manifest a bigger studio for me for next year. For starters, I think I'm just going to place some things down and see where we go with this. I'm not committing to anything yet. It's also difficult because this piece has a very thick matting and it's all glued down, so there's really no way to take this out of this. So I think if I have to like cut out the background piece, for example, I'm going to have to like slice into it and kind of tuck them in. So before we go into covering this up, I just wanted to do a quick Google lens on this photo because I've seen it so many times. I've seen it in so many people's houses. So I looked it up and it's by William, I'm gonna butcher this, Bouguereau? It was painted in 1890, so it's a super old piece and it's in oil. This painting features Greek mythology characters Eros and Psyche. Psyche was born with beauty that led to men worshipping her. This angered Venus, Cupid's mother and goddess of beauty. She sent Cupid to prick her with an arrow, forcing her to fall in love with a hideous creature as revenge. Instead, Cupid scratched himself with his own arrow and fell in love with Psyche. He marries her in secrecy on the condition that she may never see his face again. Psyche roams Earth and the underworld in search of her lover. The triumph over adversity from Venus makes this so popular. So for first thoughts of how this is looking, I think it's definitely like too busy, but I always like putting more and then pulling back if I need to. I really like the plane over her eyes. I think it's showing like almost like jaded thoughts of war, for example. In Andrew's pieces as well, he's done that for some of his previous pieces to portray anonymity. So that kind of like pulls into his style here. I think that there are definitely too many planes. I'm thinking this one is maybe not the best. I like the color better. I think it's just like a bit too small. I have this one as well. I just kind of liked the pink in this because the skies are different colors. I mean, that one does go as well. So maybe I'll just hold this one on the sidelines because I could cut this like right to the edge like that. I know it's kind of missing part of the wing, but I don't think it's a big issue here. And then I also love the idea of like having an explosion kind of in here because this is the main point. And she's supposed to be like blinded and not being able to see her Cupid partner. So that's kind of interesting. Is maybe like dropping one of these and then in this like armpit area, having like the explosion. Now that I have this here, I just don't know if it's right. Yeah, I'm wondering if I need to like switch to this. So already I do like this a lot more. I think I wish that the black wasn't there, but I think it does show that like, you know, it looks like an explosion versus before it just looked like a weird cloud. Okay, so this is where the plane has to be, and this is where this has to be, and I feel like the logistics here, it definitely is not how it would happen. Like this plane would have to be like here for it to like drop, and this would be like at that angle. But maybe it's like another plane has flown by. I just thought it would be really cool to have some extra texture up here, and I think it kind of tells an interesting story. It's like a little piece of it. I have these little guys, like maybe these ones. I mean, this could be over here. And then just have like other ones coming through like this. I also was looking last night and I found this amazing piece, but I'm just not sure if I can use it here. It's a little bit too dark. I could picture if I could cut out these people and bring them forward, but as you saw before, like this is just glued down to a piece of cardboard. So it's gonna be really impossible to get anything like nicely behind. I also found this piece, which is really interesting with the explosion potentially. Like I feel like this might like perfectly kind of fit if I like cut this person out. And then obviously not to mention the faces are here. So I feel like it just like creates really good movement. So I was kind of thinking this could get like tucked in, but I also wonder if like maybe it's like in the goo. I shouldn't call this goo. The explosion. It's like showing it's like this guy's fallen and died, but he gets promoted because that happened. I think that's kind of cool. I'm trying to figure out, I definitely don't love this plane here, but I'm trying to figure out how this could make sense. So bear with me while I figure out that part. I saw this advertisement and I just laughed really hard. And I thought at first that like maybe they could all sit on her head and be like raising a glass, like they've done something right, for example. I just wonder if it's like too on the nose. Just as you can see here, the colors just aren't really going with it. This could have been the direction because this coloring is really close, but these colors here, like the reds and stuff, I think just aren't as prominent. And like I would definitely cut out the globe and just have them sitting there. Okay, so I think I'm getting ready to glue. I feel good about this. So I'm actually gonna use a golden matte medium, this one, just because I want it to kind of go on in less of like a slick way, a little bit more grimy to match these other pieces. And I think I can do these bottom pieces the same way. I'm probably just gonna do this one in the corner first. And it's kind of crazy because this one has to go first before this one does. Or I can do some of it and then just leave like the edge up. I finally made my Amazon storefront and it's linked below, and this is in it. I would highly recommend this for any collage artist. It just gets out all the little bubbles and it makes sure that everything is like really glued down well. I also just peeled back the glue a little, and I think that this like written texture would be really cool up here or something. So maybe we are not done yet. I think that would be really cool to try out, eh? And for you coming over from this channel, I highly recommend using this brand of glue, the Yoo-hoo, whatever one it is. I'm not sure how to pronounce it actually. It's acid free, so that means that your pieces won't yellow over time, which I highly recommend. The other pieces I wanted to look a little bit aged, but I think that this piece, because of its kind of complexity of the shape and where it's getting placed, I kind of want it to look like almost part of this background piece. So I'm going to use a glue stick versus the medium. Okay, now that this area has dried, this is exactly what I wanted it to look like. I wanted it to look a little bit more harsh around the edges and kind of just feel really interesting. So I really wonder though if I should put like some writing on the back. I have this, but the red is what's gonna take versus the white, for example, and the black. This is a Chevrolet ad. Kind of cool. Let's see what else we got. This really interesting page, and it just has little blurbs about like tanks and different like motives for war, for example, and it's basically showing like this product that's in all of them. So I mean, these are kind of interesting just because it says like bomber and tanks and like any of those types of words, champions, etc. So yeah, maybe I'll cut these out. Okay, I'll try to show you this. But now we have these 3 little pieces of paper with some words on them, and I'm gonna dip them in glue and basically just like put them on and then pull them up and just have like the words kind of in the background lightly. Oops, well that's fun. Little happy mistake. This one kind of is interesting. I might just leave that, to be honest. Kind of cool. Okay, so I'm gonna let these dry, but while this was happening, I kind of had an interesting idea. What if I tried to do like one of these, like almost fully like a photo transfer onto somewhere like here? So it would be like basically like kind of on the face, kind of in this area, just having these guys like above. I wish I had thought of this before because I just glued this one down so perfectly. But I mean, I could cut it so that they like kind of pop around these people. Or killed in action, I have this entire section of all the names of every person that died in one of the wars. Which one is this? 1943, so probably Second World War. So that could be kind of cool. I could have like the whole list and kind of do it to be the exact shape of this guy's face. I think that could be kind of cool if it was like just his face. Was like covered in names, and then I kind of did it like a photo transfer. And as I was cutting that, I realized that this is kind of cool here. I like having the stars. This is what we'll be left with. Remember, when you're putting something down, it's always upside down basically, because this is the way it's going to get stuck. So I think that'll be good there. This is gonna be a bit of a risk, but I'm willing to take it. So let's see how this turns out. I'm scared. I'm a little impatient. I'm just gonna go for it. Oh my God, it actually worked, kind of. Sometimes I'm like, I expect my ideas to go well. This one I wasn't very sure about, but it seems to have worked. That's pretty cool. Pretty satisfying reveal. Almost got all of it in one go. I wish I made the corners a little less straight, but I think I can go back and kind of mess them up, so let's see if I can do that. So I'm just gonna take a wet paper towel and a dry one and go in. You can see here that I just don't want this like cloudiness coming through, so I'm just adding a little bit of water and then soaking it up with a paper towel, and it's kind of giving this crackling look, which I actually think is pretty cool. So I hope that this works. They look like ghosts or something. And in the meantime, I kind of forgot about the top part, but I remember this being here. Then we had the 2 little planes here, and the smaller one farther back. So I think that this is where I'm going with that. And I think it's fine. I forgot about this, but I think it looks fine the way it is.
Hey,
It's so good to see you, and I hope your week went really well.
thank you. It did. It was a little stressful. I feel like I have a pretty chaotic art making process. So hopefully you were calm. I feel like you seem like a pretty calm person. So I don't know. I'm happy with what how things turned out, but it was a little chaotic on my end. How did you feel about
Yeah, definitely like calm on the outside was hectic on the inside. I feel like this was like
it?
a very big challenge. First off, because we only posted it in a week, right? Like we basically, yeah, talked on Saturday last week and then it's going live Saturday. And then we're revealing even before that. So yeah, it's like very fast turnover, but I felt like it was like a really fun challenge and definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone. So yeah, I'm definitely really excited to show you what I've done.
Same here. Wow. So did you pull everything out of the frame and then work on it and put it back in?
Yeah, so I got the big piece and then I realized that it was attached to cardboard, so I couldn't like cut behind it or anything. So I was like, that's just such a big challenge. But yeah, I had all this stack of like army photos. I wanted to do something for a long time with it. And yeah,
Wow. I love like the way that you have achieved such layering so it feels like it's kind of part of the same image. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's so seamless.
yeah, I feel like the sky part specifically, it was like I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect.
Yeah. No, and you also chose to cover eyes. That's a controversial thing on my channel. People
I
don't like
know.
that. But I'm all about it because it feels like it gives, I don't know, there's an anonymity there and it feels like it's less precious in some way. Like it feels just really bold. And I love that.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
specifically with this one, because I did watch your videos and I saw that you were getting like a little bit of hate on the eye covering. But I
no,
was
it's
like,
like that's like that was just such a controversy. And I don't know. And I've done that a lot of my pieces, and I've done that again this time. So we'll see what people think about it. I just feel like, particularly like when you're working with images that are not ones that you really like, it's not that you didn't choose them, but you're not really in control of the subject and what they're doing. Like the expression says so much. And so it's like if it's not if the expression that the angel is giving is not the expression you need for the piece, then it just helps to kind of like lose that and just work with the rest of the face. So I think I love that choice.
oh, thank you. Yeah, and I was
Wow.
thinking with it, it almost like contrasts the real meaning, right? Like it's like supposed to be like the first kiss or whatever, and now it's like this instead. It's like kind of like sad looking, like versus
Yeah.
happy. So
No, I love the melancholy. I always lead into that. It's like, oh, I love it.
amazing. Yeah, and it has like
Oh,
a deep
so good.
contrast for sure, right? Like I tried to do like love and war and like art and love and war and all those things.
So cool. The image that's over the face on the left side, how did you achieve that texture? Was that the original texture on the photo?
So that one was actually done with a photo transfer. So I took the paper, put a ton of Mod Podge on it, like matte medium, and then put it down and then like peeled it off. And I didn't know how it was going to go because this is like, I don't know, I haven't done mixed media in a very long time, but I used to love photo transfers and usually like do the back part, but I just ripped it and it came off like really interesting. It had this like crackle texture and I
That's
loved
what
it.
I'm loving that so much because that's something that I found challenging this time is like working within a like the collage medium. It's sort of like with images. Like I don't know. I feel like I always try to work with a lot of dimension, and it's sort of how do you layer things in a way that doesn't feel too flat. And so like I feel like the like what you achieve there is just like I want to try that. I can't wait to watch your video and try that. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, definitely. You should definitely try it because I thought it was kind of cool. And I was looking at some of your other pieces and I was like, this would be perfect for yours.
So cool. I cannot wait to try that. How big is the piece? Like you usually like this is large scale for you, right?
Yeah, this one's like just over 2 feet. So just the part and then the full frame is like 30 inches. So it's pretty big.
Was it more challenging to work in that scale?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. I think that it was like really interesting to do it for sure and like have the challenge. And I've done one before. I did the 6 foot one, but it was like not where I'm like bringing in smaller pieces. Like for that one, I like scaled them up, for example, so that it would like almost scale with the size. But for this one, it was like, okay, now I need to use a lot of littler pieces than usual. Because a lot of mine are like very, I guess, simplistic, like 3 or 4 pieces maximum per piece. Versus this
Right.
one is like 10, 12. I'm not sure how many pieces.
But that's the thing that's so impressive is like to be able to layer so many things and like still make it feel cohesive and like they are kind of one thing. Like I found that to be challenging. Like how much is too much, but if you're working with a lot of different elements, how do you kind of merge things together?
Yeah, it's definitely like a challenge for sure. And I think like, yeah, working on the larger scale definitely like put me outside of my comfort zone. So I was definitely like very happy to have that and happy to do this collaboration for that. Like I probably wouldn't have done it on my own. So I appreciate you as well.
Of course. No, it's good. It's like, it's such a thing of how do you hold on to the things that are yours, but how do you push yourself into new territory? And that's something I found in one of your videos, like when you were talking about kind of recreating the same art again, or like trying to reproduce a similar style, and like how challenging that is to feel like you're staying true to yourself, but not repeating yourself. And so it was like really refreshing for me to kind of like go outside the box a little bit of what I've been doing a lot lately, and like feel like this is going to inform my other style, but also like I'm going to continue working in this way because I think it's like, I don't know, it's exciting and graphic in a way that I feel like I haven't done before.
Well, I'm so happy to do this with you. And I think we've made some amazing art this week. So that's like awesome.
I think so too. I'm so happy. And I'm so like, I don't know, I'm excited. Like I love your piece so much. And I'm like, I think it's such a good like representation of you and your channel. And like, I don't know, I'm excited that we could make this happen.
As we wrap up here, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you're new here from Andrew's channel or other places of the interwebs, please remember to subscribe to my channel so you can see new cool art every week. And if you're one of my subscribers, please go check out Andrew's channel, and I'll link it above here for his video of this collaboration. As you might have seen, this piece was a big challenge for me, but I really enjoyed doing it, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as well. Thank you so much as always, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys!